By episode 6, the project feels heavy. The backlog is bloated. The timeline is slipping. Everyone agrees it's too much, but no one wants to remove anything. Welcome to Scope Chaos. And here's the mad BA truth you need to accept before this gets ugly. Scope doesn't creep. It's invited. Scope grows because no one says no, or because no one knows how to say no. So today, we're talking about how to reset scope mid-project without starting a riot, triggering escalation, or becoming the villain. Let's start with the biggest misconception. Resetting scope does not mean cutting value. It means choosing value. On failing projects, scope usually expands in 3 ways. While we're here, this should be quick. We might as well include. None of these sound dangerous. Together, they sink projects. So the first skill you need is scope framing. Scope framing isn't about drawing a hard line. It's about making choices visible. Instead of saying, we can't do that, say, if we include this, here's what moves. Time, cost, quality, risk. Scope decisions are trade-offs. Your job is to make those trade-offs explicit. Which brings us to the most powerful BA move here, trade-off conversations. Every scope discussion should answer one question. What are we trading for this? If the answer is nothing, you're not in a scope discussion. You're in denial. Strong BAs don't block requests. They reframe them. Instead of, no, that's out of scope, try, which of these should we deprioritize to make room? If we do this now, what moves to later? What problem does this solve compared to what we're already doing? Suddenly, scope becomes a shared responsibility, not a BA problem. Now let's talk about the emotional side, because scope is personal. Stakeholders may hear, you don't care about my needs. You're blocking progress. You're being difficult. That's why how you say no matters more than saying no. Here's the mindset shift. Say yes to the problem. Negotiate the solution. You can acknowledge the need without committing to the change. Yes, this is important. Yes, this is valuable. Yes, this deserves attention. Let's decide when and how. That's not avoidance. That's control. Now let's talk about timing, because resetting scope too late is risky. The longer scope stays fuzzy, the harder it is to cut, the more emotional it becomes, the more rework accumulates. If you wait until delivery pressure peaks, every scope change feels like a crisis. Strong BAs reset scope before things explode. They watch for signals, missed milestones, overloaded backlogs, conflicting priorities. Everything is critical language. Those are your cues. Now, let's bring this back to the project from hell. At this point, you're not trying to make everyone happy. You're trying to make the project survivable. That means fewer promises, clear priorities, visible trade-offs, honest conversations. And now for the mad BA truth that closes this episode. Scope doesn't creep, it's invited. Your job as a BA isn't to guard the scope with force, it's to make every scope decision intentional. Next time, we'll talk about what happens when business, dev, and QA finally have to align, and why misalignment costs more than bugs. This is a project from hell, how BAs actually survive it. And if resetting scope feels uncomfortable, that's because it matters.